Alright guys, I got the one vent, two drain hole model back in the case. I already went over, the gist of it. I just wanted to do a quick one and show, what it looks like when it's put back together. This is what you would see if you went into somebody's house that had one, or went into a store, or saw one in person. This is what it would look like all put back together. Got the filter inputs right here. Filter slides in. This part here pops out. Or you could glue it in. I've seen them glued in before too. I guess some people get mad because I guess they're too rough with it, falls off. Or in my case, I guess I'll have to see how it works when I had the stereo hooked up too, because I'm going to put this one in my living room wall. Nice big high capacity. It's either between that or my Philco noiseless. I haven't decided yet, but I think I'm going to go with this one just because it's, massive. And I'll put the Philco in the family room, which is the second living room more or less. Put that back on. Lines up. Oh, the hole's right there. Lines up. There we go. Control panel. Vent. Open. Vent close. I always keep them on closed, but it's a cool feature to have just in case. 4 push buttons. Off, quiet, normal, super. Energy saver switch. Fan auto. Fan on. I keep it on energy saver for fan auto. Round thermostat, nighttime range, daytime range, fan only is all the way down here with the compressor kicked off. It's also a good way of turning the air conditioner off. Like say you like to keep it on quiet, which is I normally do. I usually keep it on quiet. And it is whisper quiet, trust me. Normal and super make noise, but when it says quiet, it means that I usually keep it on energy saver, and I'll turn the unit off by that. When I'll turn the thermostat all the way down, it'll kick off. Then when I want it on, I just click over. Just for the coolness factor of it. No particular reason. The sides of these units have 4 sets of square vents or louvers on each. Let's go to the other. Like so. Backs of these. Now on the 2 drain hole models, there's no Emerson Kool written out. Like the ones with the single drain hole, like so, they have the Emerson Kool sticker on it. But we'll get to that. We'll get to that unit there next. It's got the little metal plate shown in there. These things line up and the water comes out. I guess it could be pushed out a little bit further because that's supposed to stick out and it drains in like that. This one was not installed in the covered area. It was hanging out the back of the house and exposed to sunlight, which is why the EQK tag is faded. Now in the mid 80s, before they did it with putting the EQK tags on the back, they were all silver with black lettering and a black trim, and these are all silver lettering with a red here and blue down here, like so. That was installed in a hanging out into somebody's garage, from the living room into the garage area, so it was never exposed to the sun. Shit. Oh yeah, you're not gonna find the silver and black lettering on a 2 drain hole model, solely because of the fact that these were mid to late 70s and those were late 70s to mid 80s. Before that, the older ones, they had a chassis like that where the vents were about that far in, but it had 2 drain holes, and those. And the way you can tell is there's no EQK tag, and there's no silver piece. It just has the 2 drain holes like that, and the vents are close together like so on that one over there. Like the vents would start like right here. It's not as long as the chassis. Now those are the older ones. Those are from the very, very early 70s up until the mid 70s when they switched the design over, and the front grills didn't have that design on them. I have pictures of it up on my Flickr photo stream. You can look for the early Emerson Kool. It looked nothing like this at all. I don't think it even had a control panel door. And most of the buttons were vertical. There were a few levers. And if I'm not mistaken, some of them even had the vents like on a slant like that, kind of like a modern Frigidaire, but they rotated, so it would kind of do an air sweep kind of deal, but it wasn't as efficient as the ones the Philco had. And then they changed it up to that. You could just, this design came out in the mid-70s, and they had one vent on it. And they went back and forth like so. And you had these air louvers. Now, there's one thing that is interesting. Now, I'm going to get away from this unit for about 30 seconds, but I'll be right back to it. This one here is not an Emerson in any way, shape, or form. It's actually a 1997 air temp that replaced the Emerson Kool that used to be there. And I got this front cover here. This is light work. Yeah, I got this front cover here off a trash pick find. I found one. But what's different about this one is that on this model, the louvers are built onto the back of the vent. Same design, and I'm thinking that from the mid-70s up until like the late 1990s, because I know Fetters took Emerson Kool over, and they had Fetters, Emerson, Climatrol, and Air Temp. They all had a similar chassis design, but the outside cases all looked different, but the chassis design were pretty much the same dimensions, and thus making most of the front covers interchangeable. So I hated the way the Air Temp looked. I thought it looked boring, so I put this one I trash picked on. And when my dad and them painted the house, they painted the air conditioner cover too, which kind of sucks, but whatever. It is what it is. So yeah, I figured I'd show that just for the hell of it. But yeah, it don't get much better than that. This has to be. I mean, as far as large air conditioners go, this is my absolute favorite. That and the 2-vent one. I mean, that one's better for like air direction purposes, but they're both just fantastic designs. Now that was the one that used to be in the hole where that air temp was that I showed you. Well, I guess we'll move on to the two vent 1 drain hole model, and that'll be it for this big guy until the comparison video, and finally when they're installed. Thanks for watching, guys, and thanks for all the support, and I'm glad that this video here went better than the one of it when it was in the case, because no pieces got damaged. Thanks again.